Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Lusitana, and I will be your instructor over the next 5 weeks in this class, Intro to the Bible. This is a basic class on the overview of what the Bible is about and its influence on the world and the church. For those of you who are non-ministry majors, I wouldn't be too concerned that we're going to hit hot and heavy all 66 books of the Bible. Again, it's just an overview or a survey class. And then for you ministry majors, I would also like to add that even though it is an overview and a survey class, we will be discussing some very specific thoughts that will allow any student and wanting student of the Word of God to grow and take the next step further in his or her journey of faith. When it comes to procedures for all of my classes, I like to keep things simple. And this is the best way I can say it. Follow the directions. Don't make up the directions, don't assume too much in the directions, and don't ignore the directions. The directions are there to help. The directions are there to explain. And if there's any reason why any of the directions don't make any sense, or a portion of it does not make any sense, don't ignore it or discard it and make it up as you go along. Give me a call and we'll discuss it together so you can get the highest grade possible for this class. My job is to help you succeed in the highest way possible. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have that calling in ministry. I want to see you succeed. And in keeping with policies and procedures, I just want to say we're all going to be doing different papers and discussion questions. Make sure all your typewritten papers and your discussion question answers follow proper APA guidelines. Now, what does that look like? There's going to be a link at the bottom of the screen that's going to send you to a website to give you all the details of what APA guidelines are for in-text citations and in-page referencing. Make sure you follow those 2 points to the letter. And again, if you have any questions in that regard, just let me know. I've discovered that many students struggle in this area. And after so many times of missing in this area, the points add up and they find themselves in places where they are just lower than where the grade that they want to be. And what's also interesting that I've discovered with what students struggle in getting the next grade up is staying on top of discussion boards. It may only seem like a few points each week, but if few points each week do add up. So if you find yourself lagging behind in the grade that you're wanting and you're just barely behind it, nipping at its heels, stay on top of your discussion questions and make sure you're properly following APA guidelines. Again, I think this is the area where students struggle the most in wanting to get that next grade above where they're just behind it. One other area of discussion that I want to talk about with procedures when it comes to homework is late work. I follow the MACU guidelines on what late work is. Any written assignment that is 1 week late, a 10% deduction will be added to that late assignment. If it's 2 weeks late, it'll be 20% loss. 3 weeks late, a 30% loss. Anything beyond 3 weeks, the grade will receive a 0. Now keep in mind, this is a 5-week class, and if you're turning in homework in after the 3rd week, that's due in the 3rd week, you technically really don't have 3 weeks. Or if it's in the 5th week of the course, you don't have 3 weeks to turn that assignment in also. So be mindful of that, because once the class is over and I haven't received your homework, the class is over and that grade is a 0. And keeping the idea with late work, keep in mind that discussion questions on the discussion board, responses and answers, have no late acceptance policy. If it's the next week and you haven't done the work, it's an automatic 0 for what you did not do. So pay attention to what the due dates are. And again, if you have any questions, shoot me an email or get a hold of me via my cell phone. If you go to the news feed on week 1 for our class, you'll see what my cell phone number is and what my email address is to get a hold of me. With that said, my office hours are as follows. I like to make myself especially available for my students. I like having office hours at the end of the week and at the beginning of the week. So on Wednesdays from 1 to 6, I will be available for you as my students. And on Mondays, I will be available for 1 to 8. It may seem like I'm trying to cater to the go-getters and the procrastinators. That's not entirely true, because many of us in our schedules only allow us to do it at the start of the week or at the end of the week. So don't think that I'm going to be mad at you for coming to me on Mondays to make sure you get all the details worked out for your homework assignments. And on top of that, I'm not just available on these Wednesdays and Mondays. I'm always available to you as my students. But these are the best times to get a hold of me because I've designated these specific times for immediate response for you. If you contact me any other time, I will get back with you, but it may not be an immediate response. So keep those office hours in mind. Now, every class has them because it's life. What if I have an emergency? Well, yes, they happen. They happen to me too. But I'm not going to define what an emergency is, because those circumstances seem to be so special and unique that I need you to contact me. As you're going through an emergency, I realize I'm one of the last people you want to get a hold of. That's understandable. But once I enter into your mind, contact me as soon as you can so we can work out a fair and responsible solution to your circumstance. Because there are other students in the class also. I want to be helpful to every student, but I have to be fair for the entire class. So just remember this: if it's an emergency, if it's a highly stressful situation, just shoot me an email, give me a phone call, and we'll discuss it. And we'll even pray about it too. So don't be too concerned. I love working with my students. And I've never met a situation where I did not have a fair, compassionate, responsible answer to it. So if you have any other questions about these guidelines in which I have in this video, send me an email or call me on my cell phone. I'd love to discuss these details with you. And also pay attention to the news feed, because I'm going to have other details about this class in there also. Thank you, and God bless.